Popcorn, it's Ale from Popcorn Bandit TV Corporations, and this time we're gonna review Terrifier 3, and I'm not gonna do it alone, and joining me today is my best friend Oliver.
What's up?
Yeah, you may know him from his own channel, Oliver Ekman, go subscribe, and as Oliver in Scott Universe. And Oliver, what did you think about the movie?
I thought that it was really good. It was very brutal, like really violent. It was disgusting at times and horrifying to watch. These movies, watching a new Terrifier movie is kind of like watching a new season of Invincible. That every new movie gets even more violent, even more and more violent than the last. Like way worse than Terrifier 2. Way worse than the other movies. It's way more violent and brutal. The gore is cranked up to 100. It's so violent. Art the Clown, he is so terrifying. He is scary and funny at the same time. David Howard Thornton is amazing as Art the Clown, and the charisma and charm that he brings to the character is amazing. I wish we got more of that. But I think in that one scene when he was before he killed Santa, I think that was just the charisma and charm that he brought to the character. It was amazing.
And I thought the movie was pretty amazing. I don't know if it beats the second one because the second one had like also these funny moments. All these movies has some funny moments where he's like goofy like a mime, a French mime that doesn't talk. He's like always laughing when people die. Yeah, no, brutal. And this is just warning, this is gonna be a spoiler review.
Yeah, spoilers.
So
spoiler
we're gonna warn you soon. But
spoiler alert.
Yeah, I thought the movie, and as you said, David Howard Thornton was amazing. He really put up a great performance in all these three movies.
Yeah, and he also played the Grinch in The Mean One, which you can check out my movie review of that movie on my YouTube channel. So go check that out on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So he's kind of being typecast as like a creepy
like
silent killer.
Yeah, like he's like, and yeah, let's get into the spoilers. So skip to this part to avoid spoilers, and yeah, let's get into the spoilers.
So, the opening scene is easily the best opening scene to any of the Terrifier movies, and one of the scariest opening scenes I've seen to any horror movie of all time, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was so horrifying and so violent and so brutal.
Yeah.
And I really like seeing Art the Clown dressed as Santa Claus. I love how Terrifier 2 takes place on Halloween, and now Terrifier 3 is on Christmas.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Terrifier 4 takes place on Easter. Hopefully.
Yeah, like because we watched it on Easter. We watched a movie that came out in October that took place on Christmas on Easter.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it was horrifying to watch. It was so terrifying.
But yeah, it was like much more. We had heard like about people vomiting in the movie theaters from the first 10 minutes, and
after having seen the movie, I totally understand why.
And a lot of people have criticized the first 10 minutes. It like got a lot of criticism because a kid died, and you don't see that often in movies, but you don't see like a kid chopped up like in this movie. Really brutal. Art doesn't hold back, and I really get why the first 10 minutes were criticized.
The shower scene in this movie.
Wow, what the fuck was even that?
It's basically like the bedroom scene in Terrifier 2, but way worse.
Yeah.
Cranked up to 100. That was probably the most disgusting and horrifying scene I've seen to a horror movie.
Because
God.
Yeah, in the
both of us are traumatized.
Yeah,
I think that scene was probably the most brutal scene in the movie, but I think the most. Probably the scariest scene in this movie was the scene when Sienna, who by the way, she gave such an amazing performance, amazing acting. Wow. She is probably like the best final girl. The best final girl I've seen to a horror movie since Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie in Halloween.
Yeah, she is in all three movies, and she is like, in the second movie she barely survived, but she obviously has some plot armor.
And that scene when she was kidnapped and
we were on the edge of our seats.
That was scary. And the best scene in the entire movie was the climax of the movie when when Sienna is fighting Orticon with the sword and Orticon is using the chainsaw. That was an epic and awesome action scene.
That was really epic.
That was epic and awesome. And the budget has like become way bigger now.
Yeah,
it's very well made for a low budget movie. Yeah,
and it's
the whole coming from the ground and everything.
Gabby.
I love the chemistry between those two of them.
It was really
and
beautiful.
her being kidnapped. Yeah, I'm hyped for Terrifier 4. I'm scared for her. I'm worried.
Yeah, Orticon has yet another assistant, an old character from the previous movies that is helping Art killing people.
Orticon is so violent and so brutal. He is way worse than Jason, because Jason is probably one of my favorite slashers. And Horror Icons, he is way more violent than anything I've seen from Jason in Friday the 13th or Freddy Krueger in A Nightmare on Elm Street. I have my own pleasure of Jason.
What made him wanna chop up people into pieces? Because Jason, he has a backstory.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest complaint with Orticon is that like all the other slashers, Jason has a tragic backstory because he was drowned on Camp Crystal Lake. But Orticon hasn't really gone a backstory. We're 3 movies into this franchise and we still don't have a backstory.
Yeah, and,
I think that's really frustrating. But that's probably the reason why I prefer Jason and he's my favorite slasher, because he has such a strong backstory. This movie was so messed up.
Yeah, we can show you like clips of the blood.
Yeah.
Just go watch the movie yourselves.
Yeah, but it was so messed up. Dear God. Yeah. The climax of the movie, it reminded me a lot of the season 3 finale of Invincible, that it was so messed up and so violent. It was like, it was horrifying. It was messed up.
Go check out Oliver's review on Invincible.
Check out my series review for Invincible season 3.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, go watch it. Go check it out on my channel.
So, in conclusion, what is your final thoughts on Terrifier 3?
I thought it was a great, a really good and a solid and fun slasher movie. I'm a big fan of slasher horror movies. They are my favorite type of horror movies. So this is kind of my thing. But I do think that I hope that the Terrifier movies don't always do like, oh, we need to make it more violent, because just because a movie is more violent than the last doesn't mean it's better.
Yeah, true.
Because the reason why I really loved this movie and enjoyed it was because of the great story and the great characters. I really liked Jonathan in this more in the movie.
Yeah.
But I wish he had more screen time, but I hope we get more of him in Terrifier 4. But and I actually think that Terrifier 3 is slightly better than Terrifier 2, because I think that this movie was a lot more fun, and they took what was great about Terrifier 2 and made it even better. Yes. And my biggest complaint with Terrifier 2 was that it was a bit way too long, like way too long. But this is a bit shorter, luckily, and an amazing cliffhanger that makes me like excited to see more. Yeah. To see what happens next.
All the movies are great. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Art Clown is he's gonna be a iconic slasher, like, because these movies make so much money. Yeah. He's gonna be one of like the memorable slashers. Yeah. In movies.
Yeah, I totally agree. He's like the perfect example of like a Damien Leone, the director of these movies, a horror movie director who really revolutionized the horror movie genre. Yeah. Where Jordan Peele revolutionized the horror movie genre with Get Out, released in 2017, and Ari Aster, the GOAT, revolutionized the horror movie genre with Hereditary and Midsommar, 2 of my favorite horror movies of all time. Yeah, and then Robert Eggers revolutionized the horror movie genre with The Witch, released in 2015, which is a great movie, by the way. And one of the scariest movies I've seen. Yeah, so Damien Leone is one of those people, one of those legends who revolutionized
it. We actually watched Midsommar, Hereditary, and The Witch together.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And we watched 3 of the scariest movies I've ever seen. And Terrifier 3 is the most gruesome movie we've seen.
Ari Aster is like the king of messed up movies.
I agree. I love the final shot when he was like smiling, super creepy smile, and then that was creepy and the perfect way, like final shot to really horrify the audience.
And my personal favorite scenes in the movie is like when the girl and Art takes a 5-year nap, both of them in the house that is supposed to be taken down, and then they see like Art the Clown sitting down in the chair like with cobwebs. That was really cool, that he could just sleep for 5 years. And I love how Art got his Santa costume that he had in the opening scene, like from a bar. It was really cool.
Yeah, and I actually felt sorry for Santa.
And me too.
he killed so many people in gruesome ways,
Yeah.
but the coolest kill that he did was when he killed the two people with a gun. Bro thinks he's John Wick. He thinks he's John Wick.
Yeah, but
He like, that was cool.
yeah, but
That was like the least gruesome kill.
Yeah.
Easily the best and the most gruesome Christmas horror movie I've seen.
yeah,
It's even more violent than a Christmas Bloody Christmas, which
Yeah.
you guys can check out my review for that movie. A Shudder original movie. Check out that on my channel
yeah.
if you haven't already.
But yeah, that's gonna conclude our thoughts on Terrifier 3.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts on Terrifier 3 if you have seen it. Bye bye.
Bye bye.